Molly, you're on mute. Okay, there you go.
We have enough people, right?
Molly?
Tim, you don't want to hear every background sound in my room here.
I don't know.
I'll be on mute unless I have something to say.
All right, yeah, as long as you can hear us.
I can hear you. Thank you.
We can make fun of you later. When you can't hear us anymore. All right?
Oh, I know how that goes.
Yeah, and then Sam?
She there? But I have the flu.
Yeah, you don't sound good,
Oh my
Sam.
gosh, that's
Well,
terrible.
We need we're going to select the vendor for our EAB treatment.
Yeah.
plan, and we need a quorum to do that, which is 4 people, right?
So maybe you can vote on that, Sam.
So, how long are you gonna last, Sam, before you fade off into the sunset?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know if I should be voting anyway. I'm like feverish and delirious,
doesn't
but
matter, as long as you haven't been drinking, it's all right.
no
The
comment.
cough syrup might.
It's pretty,
Cough syrup, Robitussin, whatever.
it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, seriously, I guess. I mean, okay, so you're gonna just stay on mute, and then if you have any issues, you can chime in. Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good chance I'll cut out in a few minutes, frankly. It's,
Okay.
we'll see.
Maybe break on the agenda, just go to the EAD thing first.
Can we
You
do
might
it?
want to maybe,
All right,
Yeah.
let's just do it right now.
Let's do the EAB discussion first, okay, to hang in.
it would be really helpful to
Sam,
have,
we need a quorum.
to have a recommendation from the Conservation Commission for the select board.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
without being able to officially say that, it's, just
You need
harder.
4 people.
I got a text from Rebecca. She's having trouble signing into
Yeah.
Zoom.
Oh, well, as long as Rebecca's going to be here too, then that would release. Poor
Zoom's
Sam.
I don't know, forcing her to create a commercial account.
Yeah, we've been hearing this a lot lately.
Yeah, I had that issue for the first time today as well. I thankfully had an account that I just had to dig up a password for, but data point there.
And maybe I'll just put her on my speakerphone.
This is all, well, she should probably just go through the motions of trying to do that,
Create commercial account.
whatever telling her she has to do, yeah. Because.
I don't know what it means by commercial. It's just an account.
Yeah, it's just
She
an
just-
account because it's like the authentication stuff. It's part of the fallout of our past indiscretions. They're trying to make it so that we actually know who the people are that are getting onto the town Zoom.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So it's going to be a recurring issue. So she should probably just try to do it.
Can you tell her?
It's not going to cost her anything.
Okay, so we sent the I'm texting Rebecca while I'm talking, which is
Well, you can text her. We can
always
second.
hard
We
for
have a
me.
second.
I'll
We have
have
a
to
second.
stop chewing gums because I can't do 3 things at the same time. So we sent the request for bid out, Dave did. He sent it to 4,
I sent it to all the people I sent it to four companies.
Yep.
In the area. One was, we can say the.
You can tell us. You can tell
So
us.
we sent it to Tree Keepers of Maine, Bartlett, Hawk, and Tree Works. Those were the 4 people.
Yep.
And the way I did it was I looked up who was providing these services. And I actually called other places too, in Belfast and stuff that they weren't. They couldn't recommend anybody else. So I did chase around and see if I could find anybody else that was involved in this kind of work.
Yep.
And then we sent it out and we got 3 bids. Tree Keepers of Maine did not bid on it. And I actually had a conversation with the owner, one of the owners, and they said.
Oh, your microphone is not on.
I actually I actually got to talk with Tree Keepers of Maine and one of the owners, and they explained why they weren't going to be bidding on it. So they had an opportunity to bid. They didn't. And then we got 3 other bids from Hawk. We got one from Hawk, one from Bartlett, and one from Tree Works. And then the results, Brian, you have the results,
I
right?
do. And I sent them around to everybody.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry I only gave you a day to look at it, but Dave and I met with
So,
Bartlett
Yeah, so,
Monday.
so the lowest bidder was Bartlett Tree. And we really wanted to try to make sure we interviewed them before we move forward with it, so we could give you guys a good recommendation on what we found. And I'll let Brian kind of talk a little bit about what he thought about the meeting, but
Yeah.
we did learn quite a bit during the meeting that I wasn't aware of. He gave some really useful information. The gentleman was very knowledgeable. He had done this in 2 other states.
This is Bartlett you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And they actually set up a new home office, or they're working out of this area now, out of Union. And they're going to be encompassing Waldoboro, Thomaston, Rockland, Camden, Belfast area, that zone
Right.
with this office.
Yeah, they're a big, so just to backtrack for a second. So Tree Keepers, they're the company that uses the triazine, which is the organic.
Mhm.
We sent them a bid, as Dave mentioned, and they didn't bid.
Right.
So we gave it a shot.
Right.
Okay, just so everybody knows. The other thing is the emamectin benzoate is what everybody uses. Okay, just so everybody knows, that's what everybody uses, and it's like this it's the standard standard practice for emerald ash borer. So just so everybody knows,
It's also derived by plants, from plants,
it's semi-synthetic.
semi-synthetic.
Yeah, it's derived from denatured bacteria, which is the precursor for the molecule that becomes emamectin benzoate and ivermectin, and there's a bunch of mectins that are derived from the same thing. And
Is
they're
it like BT? Is it like
No.
bacillus? It's different bacteria.
yeah, but that's a live bacteria that, as you probably know, infects the pupa of the stage of the insect.
Yeah, but you're using bacteria to produce the material. that
Well,
you
then,
want,
yeah.
right?
This case, the bacteria it's a molecule the bacteria make that, like penicillin's a good example.
Mhm.
That's made by bacteria or made by fungus or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get over.
Is it like the ivermectin that I give to the horses?
Yes, it is. It's a
For like the horse dewormer?
Exactly. It is. The molecular family is the same. The structures are a little different from what I understand. But
I
it's,
give it to the horses twice a year and they're
Yep,
fine.
it's the same thing. I mean, the same family. Is it exactly the same thing? No, but it's the same.
Same
mectin.
idea.
Yeah, yep. So, all right. So the 3 bids that came back were Tree Works. The scope of work for all the bids is essentially the same. So all things considered, the numbers I'm giving, or I provided everyone, are the bottom line to accomplish the same scope of work if you believe that all the vendors can perform the scope of work as outlined in the bid, right?
And that was based on the inventory that was done.
Yep.
Plus 10%. So they all had the same number to work with.
Yep, and it was based on the work we all did to put that scope of work together. And
Mhm.
Audra did a great job of turning it into some kind of a towny document, whatever. So
That was probably Dave, but
Dave,
either way.
I'm going to give him
Dave does more than some people know.
I try not to give much credit though, because it gets to his head.
Right. It can turn into blame
Oh, yeah,
sometimes,
well.
so it's.
Yeah, that's right. Audra did that.
Just in case we can leave it on the town manager because she's used to it.
Sorry, Dave.
I'm good with Audra doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tree Works came in for the whole enchilada, which is the initial injection of the trees. They had some language in there that, and you all have it, that details if the tree is less than 6 inches diameter at breast height, they'd use a trunk spray in a
Root drench.
root drench.
Yeah.
Hawk Tree came in at 82,000, essentially the same thing. And Bartlett came in surprisingly less at 62,000 if you consider the initial cost to do the treatment plus the assessment 2 years later for the trees. So Dave and I met last week and we looked this over and we were kind of surprised at the Bartlett number. So we asked the Bartlett guy if he could come by.
Nick Duffy.
Nick Duffy. He's the regional business manager, but he's a nerd. I mean, he really knows he's a licensed arborist and everything else. So
He's a licensed chemical applicator.
yeah, he's a really solid guy. I mean,
Impressive.
yeah, impressive.
Yeah.
He oversees the Mid-Coast, right?
Well, they had another office in Bar Harbor, he said. And
Right.
he's been overseeing that.
Yeah.
And they're opening up another office in this area
Yeah,
now.
and he's been involved in several different treatments throughout the East Coast.
2 different states.
Yeah,
He's
North Carolina, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Yep, here.
And he was like a wealth of information about this whole thing.
So we invited him to visit with us at the PW Monday
Mhm.
because we just wanted to make sure we were comparing oranges to oranges.
Yep.
And the upshot was, I think he gave Dave and I both a lot of confidence that we're talking about his organization performing the same scope of work that Hawk and Tree Works would. One of the interesting things he said was, we asked him that there wasn't much information provided around treating trees of 6 inches of diameter of breast height unless. He said that he actually wouldn't recommend we treat small trees because he said, number one is the efficacy of the treatment is very low because the trees are small. And he said the emerald ash borers typically don't infect small trees, especially when there's much bigger fish to fry, because they don't offer the emerald ash borer much benefit from a nutrition standpoint.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they'd rather eat a cheeseburger than a half a carrot. You know what I mean?
It's like they're gonna commit to that tree and climbing up it and stuff, then they're gonna.
Well, I guess because the bark bark is very thin. The emerald ash borer
Oh,
likes
'cause they
to
like
read
the bark.
between the bark and the xylem or whatever. I mean, I'm outside my comfort zone here.
They're kind of like just on the inside of the bark in the stuff that's inside.
So with a thin bark wouldn't be so appealing.
Feel safe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He said that if he recommended we just they'll
And well, the question came up about the root drenching and the bark
Yeah.
treatment, and we were asking,
Right.
well, how come you didn't include this? That's
Yep.
kind of how the conversation started. And he said that he really, like Brian said, he didn't recommend that we would treat those size trees. He says he can go up to 4 inches.
yeah, 4 inches, right?
4 inches with an ampule or
Yeah, the injection.
the injection.
Yep.
But he said below that, he wouldn't really, and if I'm taking away your thunder, you go ahead and.
No.
He said he wouldn't recommend treating them, and he says, I wouldn't do a root drench because he says root drench actually has PFAS in it, the chemical they use for that.
He said, and it's not selective.
Right. Yeah.
With the trunk injection.
Yeah, I'm certainly not an expert in this, but my impression back when we were discussing the different kinds of treatment options was that no one was excited about the concept of a root drench, and we were trying to avoid that.
Right. So this kind of lended itself to that. So he's the low bidder. He gave a good reason for not using the root drench. And then one of his other explanations for it was that this whole emerald ash borer works on a kind of a bell curve type of thing, he said. And it starts off like initially at the bottom and starts ramping its way up. And basically
The population.
what ends up happening is the population grows and grows and grows, and it starts eating and invading all of the wild trees that are out in the woods and everything as a food source. And he says the emerald ash borer has like a 12-year kind of cycle.
So how many year?
12 years before it basically eats itself out of a house and home and then basically dies off, right?
It's off, yeah,
It dies off because there's just no more trees left other than the ones we've been treating.
right. And then what so we brought up the whole issue of retreatment of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, after, it was kind of grim, but he said after 12 years, he said, most likely any of the trees that haven't been treated will have died.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the emerald ash borer will leave because there aren't any trees for it to eat anymore. Now, we were at that meeting in the Belfast Boathouse with the Maine Department of Forestry, the Forest Service, and they said basically the same thing. So
Yeah.
we've heard it twice from
Mhm.
two different sources. So anyway, to make a long story short, we've got 3 bid prices. The lowest one looks like they could do a fine job of, we asked them a lot of other questions like,
And we were really
we asked
interested
them
in,
a lot of questions.
and we were really interested in giving it to somebody local too. That was the other thing. We really wanted to because, but we didn't have a good reason to choose somebody else local because of the price disparity between the two.
That was
It's,
going to be my thing, and I'm going to get to talk about this on the select board, but to me, having somebody like Shane, who I knew was going to be driving by these trees all the time,
Yeah.
for years and noticing things, had like that personal investment felt like a
we felt the same
big
way.
benefit.
We felt the same way.
Yeah. But the difference in price is $25,000.
And maybe experience too. Maybe it's going-
And I mean, if that's true,
Both
that
have
he
experience.
does have
It's kind of a
that
hard
amount of
one.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not slight.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
mean,
now, are
it-
we going to talk to them about not parking on the sidewalks and stuff like that?
sure. I mean,
Oh, the tree service,
Yeah, that's an aside, but
we can do that.
he ran you could tell this guy
Bartlett's, I don't know, they've,
run a pretty tight ship, it seemed like. But again, I've never worked with him.
Well, that's why we're discussing this.
Yeah.
they've been, I
We gotta
think they've been
decide
pretty aggressive in this
amongst all of
area.
us who we feel is I guess the bottom line from our perspective, Dave and I, is even though Bartlett's the lowest price, they look like they could do a fine job, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And we do have a relation, certainly Shane has been like amazing with us. He's been extraordinarily helpful. He has been helpful to
Educational.
Barb and I when we've gone over and so we've got.
And the other thing too is they're doing 10 other towns, 10 other cities in the state.
Yeah, well, you can look at the list.
So this is for the town street trees in the right of way, right? It's
Yes.
not, is it for the parks?
No, we talked about that at the department head meeting and
Separate
what,
thing.
what I wanted to actually, that it's a good point, good thing that you brought that up, is I'd like to be able to take the inventory, if this is something anybody here would want to help with, take the
Sure.
inventory and determine any of these that are in parks or cemeteries, because those weren't hypothetically included, but could be.
Yep.
Did Louisa's
I don't know.
include was she just looking at the right of way, or was
Yeah,
it
okay.
wasn't the like,
No.
So maybe we got to
well,
figure
that would
out.
be a good job for the Conservation
Yeah,
Commission to
would.
expand that and then maybe do something.
Mhm. And we can include it.
I mean, if you
We
go
can-
to your
Well,
computer,
we could pay extra at $7.85 a day.
Exactly.
DBH.
Yeah.
Bartlett said they would, for private homeowners, or in this case, us, $7.85 a DBH, they treat trees. So,
That's really the number we're looking at.
Yep.
Shane's was 10,
10.
and they were $6. 6?
Well,
What was,
$7.85.
they're 785 Bartlett,
Yep.
785 per inch of DBH to treat the tree. Shane was 10. That's ultimately the number.
So we could do that as well. I mean, we can do
Mhm.
that in the spring. But
Because
it'll
it's the
cost us
town
a-
Parks and Rec Department that oversees the trees in parks, correct?
Right. So what I was thinking is we would get the cemetery count and the parks count, because it came up, like, I talked about it at the meeting, and that was one of the things that.
Right.
we
Well, the
talked
cemetery
about.
committee oversees those trees.
Right, but
they don't want the trees.
They, well.
Well, that was,
they need-
well, Jeff Nathan was asking about, like the trimming of the trees and the cutting of the trees down. And I said, they really need to have a comprehensive evaluation of the trees
Inventory.
I've been asking them for years.
and then maybe do some canopy like work on them so that they
Are we
don't
talking about the cemetery or the parks?
cemetery.
Replace the trees. They consider trees a nuisance because they drop
Mhm.
leaves.
Well, there's mixed feelings.
Okay, well, didn't used to be.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the trees could use all the advocacy they can get over there, but maybe talk to Karen Grove on the cemetery. We've been having the talks with the cemetery committee around the green burial stuff.
There's there may
Right.
be a shift.
Well,
Yeah.
Chip Late was asking
Chip's
about,
good on trees.
he
Yeah.
was asking, he goes, we want to have an evaluation done at the one that lost the branch and broke the fence. And I said, yeah, I looked at it. I go, I would have Dominic also look at it. But I said, what they need is a comprehensive look at all the trees to do some maintenance pruning on them. So they don't end up with the big sail and the heavy limbs and all of that and then end up getting damaged.
And the weather.
Well, that would be a great thing for the Conservation Commission to offer to assist with the cemetery
Are we
committee.
experienced enough to do
They
that?
might not want it.
We could work with Dominic.
I don't know if
Just
anyone
because they
in
don't
our,
want it.
I'm not sure if anyone on our committee is that qualified to.
No,
make
well,
this
no, it's being a liaison to,
a liaison.
it's saying, hey, we're gonna help, and then you guys put it in the app or whatever, and,
So I just want to, I want to make
Yeah,
sure we
let's-
get back to this.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll get through the EAB
Yeah, yeah.
stuff.
no, you're right.
So we're going to look at
Can I
the,
ask two clarifying questions about the Bartlett proposal?
sure.
When you talked to them about the small trees, was the plan, we won't treat small trees, we'll take them down?
No, it was, we would.
We're
they-
gonna not treat them
No.
and leave them?
Leave 'em.
He said he would recommend probably not really treating the trees under 4 inches.
Because they're likely to survive on their own.
Likely, yeah.
But could they be reassessed in
2 years.
a few years?
Yes, and he said, he looked at the list of trees and he said he didn't even think there were that many on the list
Right.
that were
Of
under.
that small?
Yep.
Yeah, there's like, it's
Diameter.
a small amount of trees that are in the right of way that are that size.
We haven't been planting. how much-
Okay,
Does that make sense? to
okay.
you?
And they're also just so much easier to handle, I'm sure, if they do get infected, so.
Yeah, you're talking about some.
Okay, and then the second question
Yeah.
Yeah, the second question I had about that proposal is just, in question 4, where they had to attest that they would offer the same rate to Camden residents.
Yep.
Yes.
I think theirs was the only one that was a little particular about, under what circumstances they do that. So it says, so long as the treatments are done in conjunction and coordination with the town's treatment project and schedule. Did that come up in your conversation at all? Did you have a sense of like how nitpicky they're gonna be about that? Is this gonna be
We
easy or not easy for residents to take advantage
We
of?
talked about that.
That's a great point.
And what they said was, as long as the treatment of private homeowners' trees occurs during the time frame we're doing the town trees, we can offer that price because it's an economy of scale and we're going to be there anyway.
But also part of it was the time of the treatment is at the beginning of the year. So it has to happen at that time anyway. Because that's when the leaves
Yeah.
first form. That's when you actually have to do the treatment.
The sap's running.
So theoretically, like saying it another way, like, let's say a homeowner says, well, I want to wait until July. Well, that's too late to do it anyway. So it really doesn't, it's a moot point.
Yeah, but so what's the mechanism for homeowners getting on that list? Is
So
that,
We talked about that. That was
that
something.
sounds like it's gonna be a conservation commission
Yes,
thing,
that's what we
rather than,
thought.
We need to talk about that,
Yeah.
about how we're going to do PR.
because is
to
Shane
get-
willing to just let homeowners contact him directly? Because that's a big, it's much
Oh,
better.
he was definitely, Bartlett was okay with them contacting him.
Him, yeah.
He didn't want, he didn't
He
want.
didn't want to contact us. He
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh.
work
He
with-
actually thought that was a good idea.
Okay, so it's not like the town has to round up every,
No,
every
we just have to
homeowner.
put the word out that
We're
this is
gonna get the
available.
word out,
And then they would
exactly.
contact Bartlett.
And they're going to contact Bartlett.
Okay.
So but it needs to occur the same time frame as the town
Okay.
treatment. Make sense? Molly, you okay with that? Do you have another question? Molly?
No, that's great, thank you.
So we need to make some decisions here, folks. To Ellison's point about the relationship with Shane, who's been great to work with, we just have a huge price discrepancy, right?
Yeah, and it's really up to you how you want to spend the money. I'm not the person determining how you spend it, but when you see differences in this much, it's hard to not,
To justify.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can't,
that's a
And
challenging
and we
one.
looked, Dave and I
it's a
looked.
third of the price.
Looked for reasons to justify it, believe me.
Yeah, we really were trying to, and we had no basis for it.
So,
Yeah, there's lots of other stuff that
yeah,
Shane and different contractors can do for the town's trees and
Mhm.
different.
Yep.
there,
Well, the one other thing that came up is Shane actually went over with me his concerns with the Bartlett bid because they were the low bid.
Mhm.
And he was like questioning like their ability to do the evaluation after 2 years for the price that they listed. And I actually asked him the question and he basically said they incorporated it into the overall price and they felt comfortable with what they
he
gave.
did, yeah.
So, and he said that, he didn't think there was a problem with the evaluation of the people being able to do it.
Nope,
They're going to be able to use the app.
yep,
Yeah,
they need to use the app. We talked about that too.
right.
He knew that,
Yeah.
so.
Is there anything else that I like the list of the towns that they've already been doing. And he did say though, that we were ahead of the curve on trying to resolve this or avoid this problem.
Preparedness.
Yeah, we were very prepared. We had a good inventory. We had a database that we were keeping track of everything on. He says he was meeting with another town just east of us who wasn't quite that far ahead. And he says, quite frankly, he goes, he actually talked about if you start treating them after they show infection, he goes, the rate of survival drops drastically.
Yeah, he said there's over a 90% chance if the tree's treated, it's going to survive and thrive. And he said after the crown dieback is like 50%, forget it.
Forget it. It isn't even
Yeah.
going to happen. He said he was able to save some trees with minor crown defoliation, but the success rate goes way down. So staying ahead of it is the key.
Have you guys had a chance to see the list of the communities that they're working with? It's part of that.
Yes,
Okay.
that was impressive. That was definitely stood out to me.
Yeah.
It is.
Are any of those towns that you, probably Dave, this direct question would be for you, have contacts at? Like if you, I'm hearing some hesitation between going with the big national or international company versus someone local. And
Yeah.
maybe we could assuage those concerns if we had like a good reference of a town that he's been working with who says,
Yep.
yeah, they're doing a stellar job. Or we might find out, actually, no, they overpromised and underdelivered.
I was gonna recommend that maybe you guys make your decision based on me getting a couple references that he
Yeah, okay.
provided and making sure that those check out.
Yeah, and I would love that. Cause I certainly with the dollar amount, and your confidence after speaking with them, I would lean towards voting for Bartlett, but I think we could really seal that confidence with some strong
Yeah,
recommendations.
So you would vote, to award it to whoever based on a follow-up investigation on their references with positive results. Something like
The
that.
other thing is I wonder if this is an opportunity to make sure that any tree contractor that the town hires is also like well-versed in our shade tree ordinance. And because what I find, the more you have tree companies working in the area, they end up talking to homeowners. There's a lot of opportunity for like cutting down other trees.
Yeah.
Well-
We're like, this can't be, and I've been getting in the mail stuff from tree companies and I was
Quite aggressive.
like quite aggressively trying to
Yeah.
we're going to help you get rid of your hazard trees and stuff. And
Right.
I think it's really important that
Yeah.
the company that we're like opening up our arms to is
Yeah,
kind
we
of
can
gets
make
it
sure-
and isn't.
Can make sure he's versed in the ordinance.
That's a good point, Allison.
Because if he's talking to different people, we want him to know what our policies are.
And we want him to encourage the homeowners to do the best interests of the trees.
Right. And even
Yeah.
if things aren't like quite in the right of way, it's
Right.
like if they're going in, well, you might have a hazard tree over there and a hazard tree over there. I don't know how to handle that exactly, but
Well, I think after we choose the vendor we want to work with, we can invite them to a meeting and we can talk about some of this stuff too, right?
Yep. And he also said that he thought that it was here, probably, most likely,
Oh, that it had arrived and we
Yeah.
haven't found it yet. I think
even though
they're
we haven't
probably
found
right.
it.
Well, that's what we've all been saying all along.
Yep. So are we ready to take a vote?
Yep. Sam, are you alert or should we try to call?
I'm here. I'm here.
Do you have
I'm
a,
okay.
what do you, based on what you've heard, who would you recommend we go with?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, you're making her start?
Well, do I have to go first?
No,
I mean,
somebody should make a
I'll
motion.
go.
Sam,
We'll make a
Sam,
motion. It's
Sam,
fine.
can you tell me what year it is?
It's in the,
Yeah,
there's
right.
two.
That's a good one.
Somebody could make a motion.
I'll make a
I
motion
would
that we,
Make a
Fine.
motion.
make a motion that we vote on the vendor we want to select for the Emerald Ash.
No,
Grove.
that, a motion for the one you want to choose, and then she can vote in favor of or against.
Rebecca's ready to do it.
All right, I'm going to make a motion.
Rebecca's here. Oh, good.
Rebecca?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that if 2 out of 3 references from Bartlett
Yep.
are positive, that the Conservation Commission grants the town, our blessing to proceed with hiring Bartlett Tree Service for this work.
How about recommend?
I
Well, that's
second
for
that
treatment.
motion.
What's that?
Second the motion.
I want to say like recommends to the select board. Just
Re-
Recommends to the select board.
To the select board that we hire Bartlett Tree Service
Can you
for.
write that down, Rebecca, and email it to us, what you just said?
Or text it.
You got it?
Or
Barb?
chat it, or, okay, sure, yes.
Okay, and we second the motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
You got to do a roll call on Zoom. For
Aye.
Legal.
I'm trying to raise my
Sam-
hand.
Sam's opposed.
No, I'm not opposed.
Oh,
No,
aye,
I'm,
okay. So
I'm saying
all in
aye.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Sam, oh
Aye.
my gosh, you were
That's
such a
one.
good sport.
2,
Sorry.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, people.
Five in favor, none opposed, right?
Correct.
I think so.
Okay, sounds like we made the decision.
Thank you to all of you and Dave and Brian in particular for meeting with the vendors and collecting all of that and
No problem.
doing a ton of work.
Well, we want to get this done. Thanks for
Yeah, this is
everybody's
so helpful.
eager
Sam, thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate you.
participation. Are you going to disappear now, Sam?
I don't know, we'll see. It's
All right, we
anyone's
We won't bother you anymore.
guess.
But if you listen in, that's good too.
If you want
Yeah,
some,
if people listen. I might listen and not participate.
all right, well, so Dave, you're gonna get the references?
I'll work on the references. I'll do more than that, just to,
And I'll work with you if I can help.
yeah.
We can continue to.
Yep.
All right, so
And I'll send an update of what I find.
we got this agenda all messed up.
I know. So
Part-
now
part of it's my fault.
you guys can go if you want to go.
Well, I wanted to talk about the minutes first.
Oh, the minutes.
Why don't we just
We
start at
haven't
the
even
beginning now?
accepted the minutes yet,
Oh, we haven't accepted
because I
this.
didn't know how long Sam was gonna live. But now that she survived past this.
Thanks.
So I make a motion, we accept the minutes from the last meeting.
I second it.
Second it. Okay, let's talk about the recording the minutes for a minute. We need to have a better process in place for a rotating schedule for people to record the minutes because we haven't done a very good job at that. Yeah.
I'm taking notes now, but there's 7 of us
Yep.
and there's 12 months. And I feel like I'll do it today. And then I think everyone should be doing it about twice. And just
Can I make a suggestion about this actually?
Sure.
Can we just have like a list and like it's the same order, like the list, everyone's name is on the list, it's the same order and it starts
Okay, sure.
over.
Sure.
And then if you can't do it during that month, then you're responsible for finding someone who can.
That works for me. I'll email it to you. I already have it started.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna throw a wild herring out there. It's recorded on YouTube.
Yes.
So if, an alternative, if you're not comfortable going nuts, taking minutes at the meeting live, you can always go on YouTube and watch it and do the minutes from there if you want.
YouTube even creates a transcript.
Yeah, I've looked at those and they're kind of like, you have to go through the transcript though. 'cause-
Yes.
But you could use it as a base.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
just edit
You
it
can
right
even
down.
import the video into like Google Gemini and tell it
But
to.
whoever it is responsible for somehow creating the minutes some way from the meeting, whether they're recording it
Would-
at the meeting.
And it
doing
only has to be legally, it only has to be decisions that you made.
Yeah, I know. I got into
And
this.
then it can refer to the, especially since we have the YouTube recording, you can include the link to that recording. And the only thing that you have to do is just any votes that were taken. If the Conservation Commission wants more detailed minutes for your own purposes,
Right.
that's fine, but the town only needs the record of the, attendance and votes, like from a legal perspective.
Would people be interested if I made like just a Google Doc that has the minutes template
I did that.
in it, and you can just hop into that doc when it's your turn to take notes and type in there? Or are people?
I sent out a document like that about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I could put that onto like a Google Docs thing.
Right.
It would just have a link to the Google Doc, and you could fill in the template. I'll put a bunch of empty templates in there. Is that
That works for
something
me.
people would use or no?
Sounds good to me. What did everybody else think?
Yeah, I like that.
Make it
idea.
easy as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
somebody could send out the thing like, it's your turn to take minutes, here's the link.
So we have a list.
Okay, I'll do that.
Was somebody going to make a list of
I got the dates. I'm making lists.
the names and the dates?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
good.
I'm just gonna throw them out there and then people can say, I definitely can't do that month because I'll be away. And we can start switching around, but they can contact me. and I'll work on
Go to the next
Great.
person or something. Okay. We got that one under control, I think. Any questions on that? No? Okay. Can we get an update from Allison on the anything unique, interesting?
Actually, Allison, when you had the.
Select board?
The select board meeting that was with the planning board, and it was in the Opera House,
The Tucker Room, yeah.
it was really hard to hear anything he had said. Because I don't know if the acoustics or the
Did you
microphone.
listen for the whole thing, or did you? Because I got some comments from
I didn't stick with the whole thing.
Lee Montgomery was mentioning that also. And then we made some adjustments,
Oh,
and she reported back that after we made those adjustments, she could hear much better.
I
I
didn't stay to the end. Because I
haven't-
was like, I just couldn't really understand what was going on because I couldn't understand anything.
It was, yes, you want me to give a basic
I can-
rundown
well, I
of
can
what
go
I
back
took
and watch
away?
it, but sure.
No, it's Jeremy briefed everybody on a number of things. I could send that
I remember.
packet to you
Yeah.
guys also. There was a lot of discussion of some of the zoning stuff and resource protection and the streams. Everybody, nobody that was there took the opportunity to say, gosh, we don't want to protect streams in Camden. That isn't a priority we need to be working on. So there was sort of broad general agreement. We also discussed some things that some of the other members had brought up about shoreline protection and not protecting it by armoring. So a lot of those things were kicked around and sort of broad agreement that we want to be limiting development along the coastal shoreline as well as the lakes. He did bring up the possible changes with the 1/3 expansion. It wasn't it wasn't meant as a public hearing or anything, or the select board or planning board's last chance to weigh in by any means, but I think it was like, okay, yeah, these are all things we should be working on. There was talk about how to support additional available housing in a way that is not like suburban sprawl type development. One thing that I learned that I was kind of interesting was some of what the state has been doing focuses on requiring zoning amendments in what are called designated growth areas. And that's something that we do in our comprehensive plan. And a lot of what is in the comprehensive plan sometimes seems like, okay, yeah, this is all just like nothing with teeth. It's just all these things that people say they want to do. But it was interesting to me that because we have these designated growth areas, we have mandatory changes that we have to make to our zoning to allow for denser development. And our growth area is, what's the zoning district called? It's like that whole area where, like the Pleasant Ridge subdivision, like between Mullino Road and, is that the village extension or the, it was like, it's like the part of town that doesn't have, some of it doesn't have sewer already. But like between Mullino Road and like the downtown. So it wasn't necessarily where we would want to, it's not where we have sidewalks and things like that. So that was a little alarming to me. We talked about the need to update the comprehensive plan. There's state laws about that.
So what laws?
State
Oh,
laws,
state
like, so
laws,
they're,
okay. Sorry.
you have to update it every 10 years or something like that. So I think we have another 5 years before we need to have a new comprehensive plan or something like that. And that's what is used to do, all of your zoning ordinances are supposed to have a basis in the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is supposed to be, have broad public input. And so that's something that we're going to need to be doing. There was a lot of talk of completely redoing the zoning ordinance because if you read that thing, it's just impossible to understand. It's just so many layers of exceptions and, for houses built after 1972 adjacent to a school district property, you can do this. And, it's been the attempt over the years to let certain projects happen without the fear that other projects like that might happen. But it just created this
Mishmash.
craziness of certain things that aren't allowed that really probably should be allowed, but then huge gaps in protection for other things. So there was talk about the need to not just like continue picking away at the zoning ordinance and like adding new layers, but like starting over. So
Good to know.
because partially, if you can't even figure out if your zoning ordinance is accomplishing what you want it to do or what the purpose of certain things is, then it's hard for anybody to move forward. So we want it to be a little more clear with the types of things we're trying to incentivize and not incentivize, and have it be on purpose and not by accident. So that was discussed. And let's see. A lot of talk about how to encourage like dense housing in places where you can walk, getting rid of the requirement for parking for all residential, getting rid of the minimum parking requirements for dwelling units. The state is requiring that the minimum be no more than one parking space per dwelling unit. So it's we wouldn't be allowed anymore to have like, okay, for every dwelling unit, you have to have 2 parking spaces, which has been the kind of the commonplace and led to a situation where people can't even build an apartment because they need two
Yeah,
parking
really,
spots. And
exactly.
then you've got parking lots everywhere and just really poorly utilized parking. That really all goes along with this whole paid parking thing that we're doing, which is to try to get better utilization of existing parking rather than trying to say we're going to solve the parking problem by requiring any new development to build their own parking. And so what we are going to do is actually, we're proposing to do is eliminate the minimum parking requirement entirely and make it like, let the market decide, basically. If you want to have an apartment and rent it to somebody and there is no parking available, that's something that you can decide. Somebody should be able to decide to rent an apartment with no parking. Of course, there are people that don't have cars at all and aren't going to need that. Then, there are other solutions where you can say, yeah, street parking is allowed, but when it snows, you're going to have to park your car over there. And so we talked about that. And that seemed to be well received. And yeah, I think planning board's going to be chipping away.
Did the shoreline zoning stuff that I sent ever get to the floor, or was that too far down the list?
Well, the shoreline zoning is the 1/3 expansion stuff we talked a lot about shoreline zoning.
Did you talk about when development occurs and they get permission to do something on a stream, as it happened with Headstrom? They take a lot of vegetation off. Is there any requirement for them to put back tree and shrubbery rather than just grass?
No, we didn't, not really specifically, but and I'm losing track of what conversations I've just had with Jeremy or we have had here and what was discussed at the planning board. But I think trying to have a more kind of flexible standard so that things, rather than just saying, you can't, you can only remove 1/3 of the trees and,
But keep them
actually,
removed.
right, because what you end up having is, well, these were allowed to be removed because I am allowed to remove 1/3 of the trees. And then a new property owner comes along and thinks they can remove 1/3 of the trees. And then you've got a hazard tree on top of that. And then and there's no mechanism that really requires like, okay, you can build that extra apartment here, but you need to have a 20-foot vegetated buffer now that gets added. Because I think there are places in town where you could add, you're right on the river, for instance, and there's somebody wants to add a few more apartments. That could be fine, but they're not allowed to do that right now because they're in the shoreland zone. And I think it would be good to write up. I think what I took away partially from the planning board meeting is there's like so much. Everybody's like, come up with an ordinance that can do this, and they can do this, and they can do this. And I think Jeremy's going to be able to do some of that and not do some of that. So if we are to come up with proposed language that is found somewhere else that we can also send to Jeremy to make that process a little easier, it would be good. I think those types of suggestions are really would be very much welcome and considered. And if we can find some kind of language.
People who've been
Okay.
working with the shoreland, designing the harbor. I mean, I don't know if anything will ever happen, but they actually know ways to deal with water and shores, which could involve more development close or buffers. I mean, there's design ways to cope with runoff and absorption instead of just erosion.
Right. So there's a lot more that could go in performance standards and things like that would, this is where AI can be really great. Sometimes if you say to AI, this is what I'm trying to do in our ordinance. Can you find some language somewhere else? Because we all kind of have these ideas of wouldn't it be great if this or that? But finding exactly the mechanism that is being used in other places to require those things is really helpful.
One thing I was curious about, because like I said, I didn't stay for the whole meeting because of the
Sound,
quality,
yeah.
the sound. But, so is just building more housing, is all going to be short-term rentals now? Or, because that's not what we need. We need more year-round rentals and things for people who work here. So is there a mechanism to make sure that some of this is for people who?
Yes, there are some of the changes that we made in the past, for example, like accessory dwelling units have to be long-term housing. The mechanism for keeping track of, like, accessory dwelling units built after such and such a time in this zone, because have to be year-round rentals, because the idea isn't to make it a lot easier for people to build short-term rentals.
Yeah, because
There is something there's some stuff already in there about that,
Okay.
because a lot of these changes have already gone into.
Because the letter I wrote to the board was largely based on people on lakes and stuff like that. And most of those, that expansion is for short-term rentals, not
I would actually,
say no.
I actually feel that that's not the case. A lot of it is for people that are, have had a family camp and now they're making it their year-round place, or somebody buys it and then turns it into
It's a second home.
or is their first home, but
If we had an ordinance that said you have to live there if you're gonna short-term rental it.
we do have that. I
do
mean, we don't,
actually
it's
have
not,
that.
no, we have a different regulatory we talked about this actually some at the meeting last night. There are different licensing categories for owner occupied and non-owner occupied.
I don't think it's strong enough.
Well, were you at the meeting for the whole meeting last night? Did you stay for the whole meeting last night?
For what?
The whole meeting last night? Well, you missed the short-term rental part, and there's some, I actually told the gentleman who spoke about how unfair things were. I said, I want you to know that some people think that the ordinance doesn't go far enough. And because we didn't put any restrictions on how many short-term rentals there can be in Camden. It's that you have to, there's a higher fee for non-owner occupied. So if it's not on your, if you don't live on the lot where you have the dwelling unit, then it's more expensive licensing
It's not enough.
process. And some people think we should have actually capped the total number allowed rather than just
I think
adding-
it should be only owner occupied. And that would mean we'd have residents who could vote and who understood what was going on in town. We wouldn't have empty. I mean,
That's
I
quite a
know
promise. I don't know. Even the one, yeah, so,
people who have so much money to invest, who buy up a lot of it and it's empty, okay? But a lot of it is empty houses that are reserved for.
and some people will say, well, then they'll just be empty houses instead of being rented. So,
We need occupied houses.
well, we can't legislate.
No, we can
That
say
you have
that
to
they
live.
can't do short term without living there. We could do that.
You're absolutely right. You should write an email to the select board and,
I
But
just
there's a
think-
lot of people who own a home. They're here in the summer and they rent it out all winter long to someone who comes
Yeah, but
and they contribute to the community too.
if they do, if they're
Well,
here part
I
of the
give you an
time-
example. The guy across the street from me, he lives in Boston and he's currently renting a house to some doctors that are there. They're really nice people. Their kids are in the school. I mean, and they contribute.
Yeah,
So, I
but
mean,
that's not short term.
that's actually not a short-term rental. It's a long, he's,
That's good.
that's good. So
It's-
short term, you're referring to like somebody.
less than 30 days,
Less than, like summer rental.
like vacation rentals.
Yeah. vacation
Usually
rental.
like a week at a time, or
It could be just
VRBO
even
or-
shorter than that,
Right.
though. I mean.
we actually do allow it. Yeah, you can.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a lot to that. It has been a grueling process just to get to the point now where there's a licensing requirement for everybody. So we now know how many we have. You have to have a safety inspection. Before, it was very difficult to have this conversation because you couldn't even quantify the number of vacation rentals that we have. And so it's very hard to say whether there's a problem or not.
Right.
There's guidance about the percentage of the housing stock that should be in the short-term rental category. So I'm trying to figure out how I can tie that back to the Conservation Commission just a little bit more. I think with the housing stuff, it gets into, wanting to good land use planning and incentives and trying to have development, avoiding the urban sprawl
it's
stuff.
happening all over the world, in desirable places all over the world. What money is doing to our housing,
Mhm.
taking it away.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the lesson here is that we live in
And it's a taxation problem.
we live in an incredibly desirable place, and a big part of that, like high desirability, are the natural resources. And so I think that's where we come in, as knowing that people are going to be able to make a lot of money and have a very high quality of life. And, we've been discovered here. And so our job is to speak up for what might not be noticed in that process. So
Yeah. and we
I think the
wanna-
more you can say that kind of stuff, people are always going to be the private property owners that are directly impacted by one restriction or another are, always have that added motivation to get involved and speak up. And it can be hard. The average person that's just concerned for the community concerns doesn't always feel that same sense of urgency to provide feedback all the time. And so what the result is, the select board is, and the planning office and everybody else is going to hear way more from people that feel like something has been. So the more you can get that message out there,
I
and
don't always get my letters in, but I do. And I just talked to somebody at Villager last week. He says he's writing things. Pay attention to international money. And he even mentions all the people turning into LLCs, so nobody knows who they are.
oh
If I
yeah,
want to place a tree, I used to go around trying to place trees. I'd look people up in the town, in the list, what's their address? Now they'd be in California or
There's
something.
a lot of trusts.
And they're all, they're LLCs and trusts, and it's like you can't get through.
oh, I am fighting one of those battles at this very
Anonymous
moment.
Tax deals.
Oh yeah, yep. So I guess that was the planning board thing. We should check in on where we are with some possible language around the stuff that
Right.
the squeaky wheel gets the grease around here. And so constant checking in. Do we have some language we can review? Is good with, that office, just considering
It's the same with the Board of Pesticide Control. It's the corporations that get there.
it's not corporations so much as
But it's,
the tenacious.
Yeah.
And sometimes that corresponds with people that have a bunch of money to hire somebody to advocate on their behalf. Sometimes it's just the relentless citizen that stops by the planning office every single day to ask if something is happening. So yeah. I don't know if we want to, Barb asked about going over the tree app a little bit. Was everybody
Yes.
We
able?
wanna
Well,
do the-
we don't have
we need to
Kathleen
keep on
here
the-
or
Okay.
Molly, so let's skip that today.
We've got to, finish the town updates, right?
Mm,
And then I want to make sure we spend some time talking about the next steps for the EAB in terms of our Conservation Commission involvement in community awareness, public education, yada, 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 which was brought up, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. But Dave, have you got any?
We got we've got the Rawson Avenue Bridge in place. And we're
It's an
gonna,
impressive,
quite
structure.
quite a hunk of aluminum.
It sure is.
We're gonna be working on trying to make a little bit more of a turnaround at the end of those so that we can plow and pull off to the side if we have to. And then we gotta put a couple pieces of stone to kind of narrow up the entrance so a car can't squeeze through there, because right now it's 8 feet. And you know someone's gonna try and go across that. Just because it's just what people do.
Exactly.
So there's that. And then there's kind of an interesting thing regarding the transfer station, which is a little overlap here. We just got an update on the SL Environmental PFAS.
Well, this is the treatment plant too.
What's that?
That's the treatment plant too.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. It's a treatment plant too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it does directly relate.
Oh,
to it.
yeah, that's a good
So on
one.
behalf of the transfer station and the treatment plant, we worked with this law firm called by the name of SL Environmental, and they were like a law firm that represents municipalities and nonprofits, and they were the ones that were kind of on the cutting edge of recouping money for the water companies that were affected by the PFAS contamination. And they want a huge settlement with DuPont, not
3M.
3M, and what was the other one?
DuPont.
Was it DuPont? Yeah, DuPont. And I had been looking for somebody to kind of look at our case, because we have a huge problem with our treatment plant, but it's really part of the origin is because of, well, the source is the landfill. And this PFAS is in almost all the demolition that we take into the landfill. It's in the rugs, it's in the couches, it's in
Glue,
it's
the
in everything. right?
construction adhesive.
It's
yeah,
in everything.
insulation.
So we've been putting all this stuff in the landfill over all these years full of PFAS, not knowing PFAS was bad.
Right.
And now it's bad. Now the state is coming out with rules against us being able to dispose of our sludge, which we can't compost anymore because of PFAS. And we can't, they're gonna probably start putting limits on what we can discharge from our treatment plant. So then it becomes the responsibility of the treatment plant to do basically pre-treatment enforcement on the users of the treatment plant, which is the transfer station. So,
Right.
and I'm in charge of both of them. So I got to go after myself and come up with a solution to fix the problem at the treatment plant. And we've been working on that too. But part of this, we're hoping that this lawsuit pans out and we get funding to help put in some type of treatment, pre-treatment upstream, so that it doesn't affect the treatment plant. Because right now, in theory, if our numbers got significantly more, not even significantly more, remotely more, they could say, we can't take your sludge. And they don't give you an alternative way to take it. It's like, we just can't take it. You're on your own.
They should stop it at the furniture level now, as soon as they can.
Well, they're working on all of that, but the interesting thing is they took our case. What was the thing that the communication that they filed the suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're waiting now, and we're probably gonna end up doing pretty well because we're on the front end of it.
Yeah.
We're not on the remaining end of it. So we're like right on the cutting edge of recouping funding from this, potentially if they find in favor.
So there are solutions to reduce the level of
So there's
PFAS in the,
There's 3 forms of treatment for PFAS right now, known viable solutions. There's reverse osmosis, foam fractionation, and carbon filtration. And they all have their pros and cons, but they all generate a waste that you need to then take care of it.
right, but it's more concentrated.
But it's more concentrated, but it doesn't put it in the environment.
And it can work at the scale of the,
Well, that's the thing, we're
Talking
pumping
about-
100 gallons a minute, 650 gallons a minute that you got to treat. So we're looking at treatment at the transfer station to be able to treat on site and try to reduce our leachate that we send to the treatment plant. So there might be some lagoon type of system that does some kind of pre-treatment. Maybe there's some type of aeration. Maybe there's some type of, trickling filter on site, or nutrient sediment control systems with
Right.
vegetation that can uptake these things. So we're working on all that. And we're hoping that we'll come up with some kind of way of dealing with this and that this funding source will be able to pay for that. That would be the perfect case scenario.
Yep.
So kind of got that going on. And then, you know, about the EAB thing, one thing I do want to ask about the EAB is who's going to draft a letter on behalf of the Conservation Commission? Do you want me to do that?
No.
Or do you want to, yeah,
I think we
usually,
should do
We
that.
should do it.
I think you guys should do that to the select board.
Yep.
But, you know, maybe not get the cart in front of the horse until I do the,
Yeah, we'll wait. I mean,
hear
we'll
from
wait.
me, like after I've done the reference
I mean, the
check.
good news is it's only the beginning of January.
Yeah,
You know,
we're in good shape.
we're in good shape, but we don't want to get complacent, but even
Yeah.
then, we can put a letter together.
Yep.
We'll do that.
And then,
Would be the letter to go to the select board along with the bid
correct,
for approval.
for award, yep.
Yep,
And,
good.
that's, we did talk a little bit about like, what would you do with the trees and stuff like that if you did have an outbreak?
We did, well, there is a protocol for that because if the town,
Yeah.
if the tree has to be taken down and that's a public works problem, then if it's an affected tree, it has to go to a fenced-in area.
Exactly.
Where?
A storage, fenced in store, it
I
has to be
believe
either.
it can be burned.
So
right,
theoretically,
Molly?
that's the transfer station.
Like Molly,
It's all fenced
Molly
in.
looked into this recently.
It has to be, or it could be chips, I think it was smaller than,
It can't just leave the area though, from what I,
but if
No.
you chipped it,
Seasonal.
if you chip it, you can bring it anywhere you want. If you look at the main forest.
that's okay?
Yeah,
There's a size.
there's a size, it's like
Oh.
1-inch chips or something.
Okay, well, that's
Fine
kind of
chips.
what we do. I mean, I would think that if we chip this, most of our chips go up to biomass boilers, you know, for burning.
That is shocking to me.
Well, it's all
Chipping
on
it up?
the,
It's
it's all in the main Forest Service website. They give all the
Does the
guidance.
chipping kill the bugs? Is that what it is?
Apparently.
Yes.
It destroys them.
They don't have anything that can't,
It destroys
can't
their
survive.
system of-
because they
What?
need networks and stuff like that.
But the. thing
Yeah,
is,
so
you don't chip
the
it.
main.gov says ash material that remains within the regulated area does not require treatment.
Right, you can keep it there.
You can keep it there.
Yeah,
Should be chipped or ground before moving it outside of any generally infested area.
Yep.
Less than an inch.
Yep.
In 2 dimensions, able to pass through a 1.25-inch sieve to guarantee all life stages of the EAB have been killed. So yeah, you can keep it on site.
And then we can move it off-site if it's chipped, basically.
you can
Yep.
bring it anywhere you want.
So,
You finally,
Burn
Don't
it
crawl, they
inside.
don't, they can't be like crawling around in there and then crawl to the,
There's debarking, which you can do with bigger chunks. Now, what I don't understand is, okay, you gotta debark the enormous thing. Where can it go? I mean, is it safe at that point when it's debarked? Because that's where the insect is.
well, usually what happens when we cut these trees down, if the butts are hard to deal with, if
Mhm.
things are like
That's
this
what I'm
big.
talking about.
And usually what we'll do is we'll store those on site somewhere and just let it break
Let
down.
it go
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. And then the stuff that's chippable, we'll chip and we'll send it to a biomass boiler.
Yeah.
But I think part of this is what's important is right now, the tree cutters usually like taking the wood because that's part of the deal. They take the wood, some of it goes off to be firewood. We'd have to somehow regulate that material if we have people cutting our trees down. We got to say that, you know,
Yeah.
the tree needs to stay with us, or we need to take it to the
can be
transfer
turned
station.
into
Yeah.
firewood later. The big pieces.
As long as it stays in this
as long as
area.
it stays.
Yeah.
What I'm not clear is how soon can you turn, because a lot of places, aside from EAB, are doing wood banks.
Sure.
Oh,
But I mean, what we do with the wood, because of staffing and everything, is we grind it up. We grind it up and they use it for biomass, for energy generation. That's what,
Even with the great chunks,
the big chunks, people don't want. Because
they
it's,
don't even want for burning.
no, because it's too hard to cut up, because
Well-
the handling of it's so big. Like, you go to a tree cutter and he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna cut this tree down what do I do with the butt? They don't want to take the butt because they can't turn it into firewood either, because it's just a lot of work.
So it becomes a sculpture.
It becomes a pile that breaks down and turns into,
Sometimes people really like it for like a wood chopping block.
or
We've gotten a few.
some people work at sawing it up and cutting it into firewood, but it's a lot of work. Because trying to cut a stump or
Oh, no,
like this big, it's a lot of work.
Well, it's all clearly spelled out.
But we're all set with that, I guess. Is the
What
point.
needs to be done, what we need to do is all clearly spelled out by the Maine Forest Service.
We're okay. I've got that all.
So there's no.
yeah. We're not there yet.
There's no subjectivity.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, right. But I mean, so all the rules and regulations are clearly spelled out.
Yeah, we're not
So there should
trying
be
to,
no questions.
no questions.
Right. And then,
And that's all I got to say.
well, thanks for your help.
Yeah, I
with the-
still don't want to put those like chipped up things on,
In your
McGonagall
yard.
Lake or something, like where they, but yeah.
It
Yeah.
does seem a little counterintuitive that you can chip it up and it wouldn't kill them.
You really can't depend always on the state for like they're the minimum. Anyway, we'll cross that road when we.
We're
come
not
to it.
there.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about
We
this.
got places to store it when we need to and all that.
We're trying to stay ahead of this.
Right.
Where we don't get to this point.
Exactly. But yeah, well,
Yeah, we've got places to store it, exactly.
okay. So we're going to segue to the EAB, next steps. What do we need to put together a letter for the select board.
Right.
We need to put together a PR, some kind of a public relations campaign, right?
I haven't written anything up, but my idea was, okay, so we will restart with the tree tagging in the spring because that's just crazy now. And, but I was hoping that all of us could work individually or together in groups of 2 or something like that to write some articles for like the local papers that
Right.
can also be posted on social media and stuff like that, like EAB is coming and this is what it is. And that's just general stuff, the general things. And so one could be about it's a beetle. This is what's doing, blah, blah, blah. A month or so later, someone else writes, the town plan for dealing with this is blah, 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 blah. We're going to do this and this is why we're doing it. Then someone else say, if you have it in your property, these are the things you could do. And we could even link, the people who can do treatments at your house. And just kind of an educational campaign in articles in the newspaper. And I was thinking that if we all take a little piece of it.
Yep.
And we have 2 good proofreader editors amongst us as well. And that we each take on a little piece that's the start. So that's, something for January, February, March, April, and May. For at least 4 things. And then by then, we're getting more into the,
Right. And Holly's looking for information for the town newsletter.
Yep.
okay.
Put it in the town.
Oh, that would be good.
But each one of us has to be involved. So
Yeah.
that's the other part, even though I know a few people aren't here, but a couple times we talked about this as a committee, people said,
Okay, Dave.
well, we'll just put a committee together to work on EAB. But it's like, this is a major thing for our committee. Everyone should have some basic understanding of what it is, why we're doing it. And if some neighbor comes up and says, oh, I have ash trees, you're on the Conservation Commission, what should I do? You should be able to answer that question.
Right.
You don't need to know every tiny minute detail, but every single one of us should have an idea in getting the same basic message across of what the plan is, what the town plan is, and what kind of recommendations we give to people in the community.
Yeah, and then Molly, you guys worked on Kathleen and you worked on the tree stewardship program. We need to figure out how we can dovetail all of this into, so it's kind of like one big cohesive thing, right? I mean, I think too, once we get the select board go ahead, then we need to make a splash, but we need to do it in a way that's not going to create panic
No,
and hysteria, right?
information, like when we had the float.
And so that it's disarming and it gives people hope and, blah, 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 blah,
Right,
blah, right?
and
And-
if we log these, if we do these articles and stuff like that, we can have them on the town website under Camden Conservation Commission, read more about EAB. And people, they could just link to the articles or in other sources that we want to have.
Camden Pilot, Villager,
Right, right,
et cetera,
right, yeah.
You know, sort of look at the website
And,
kind
and
of things for more particulars.
right, I noticed that the, like the Camden Rockport Pathways Committee has like their own Facebook group and stuff, like, we could do something like that if we wanted to, just to help spread more more information, but,
So do we want to come up with like an outline of what it is we want to do? Like you know, like, these are our goals. One of them, for example, is going to be we've got to get the word out about whatever vendor we work with and about how private homeowners can sign up for EAB treatment, blah, 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 blah. I'm babbling, but I mean,
Probably should be on the website, I would think, right?
yeah. And we got to get the word out, right?
News, we could probably put something in the paper too.
Or we could have, maybe we want to have also a session at the picker room in the library or something at some,
Presentation.
yeah, right.
Maybe we can have Bartlett come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, or wherever. Yeah.
yeah,
And then
if they're the person that gets the bid.
why don't I put together a rambling list of,
we'll compare notes and.
in no specific order, but of sound bites that we could start to use as a framework for our PR campaign, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
You and I
We're
can do
also,
it
we
together.
also talked, Cynthia and I talked about also having the float again, a
Well,
float
I want to talk.
in
talk about
Memorial
that.
Day.
Yeah.
It's because then people can see it for one, and we can maybe even have more information, like the Forest Service had these little cards, just like they were like size of a business card, and that was a little bit of information about it, but we could maybe hand out to people or, stuff like that. So just kind of keep flooding our local area with what it is and why you should pay attention to it and find out if it
So
matches.
why don't you want to work, I'll work with you.
Yeah, you
on
work with me. Well, let's come up with a
a framework.
framework for types of articles, but I think everybody could take a little piece, a small one. I mean, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about multi-page thing. We're talking about a couple
Yeah.
paragraphs and kind of at least once a month.
Cynthia is a writer.
Do you think we could get one of the papers to commit to like sort of partnering with us on this and maybe just do it in, I don't know, like an interview
Yeah.
format or
That'd be nice.
the Conservation Commission member every month and it's like a new piece of the puzzle, just short and simple and
I love that idea.
Yeah, that's a great
The
idea.
Villager would do that.
You have
Camden
connections?
Pilot will put, sure, I do, actually.
She does.
Yeah.
Allison knows how that works.
Allison has connections at the Villager.
Go with Allison. But
Kinda hit or miss.
Camden Pilot will put in articles that you give them about it.
I haven't had much success at having them accept articles.
Really?
Henry
Yeah.
Pilot?
No,
No,
Oh,
I hadn't heard that before.
well, that's good.
that might be an oversight.
Yeah.
They,
This is big.
They're good. Yeah,
That
this
you
is-
should
this is
resend,
big.
yeah.
This is huge.
no, that might be using the wrong email address or maybe it got buried or something or.
Maybe they don't like me. Anyway, no, it wasn't just
Well-
the Conservation Commission, it was another organization I was part of.
Oh, you got some kind of crazy radical thing going on the side that they
What's it?
can't, unprintable.
It was a Stewardship Education Alliance. Remember that?
Oh, well, we couldn't, that's,
Anyway, I don't want to
Just
get in.
kidding.
Let's just
Villager
drop
Cafe
it.
just-
Drop it, Allison.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sam's talking. Go ahead,
Hey,
Sam.
Sim, we didn't know if you were alive still. We were gonna
I'm
send,
still here. I'm hanging on.
we gotta have one of those digital thermometers so we can monitor your temperature
She's
while
been
we're
flashing.
sitting here and make sure you're all right.
She's following the rules. She's like using the gizmos on the.
All
Oh,
right,
she's
Sam,
really being.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's small, but the Villager Cafe on Fridays, they have a member of the Villager
Yeah.
newspaper
Yeah,
there
that's
too.
right.
That's like, it's like specifically like an hour
where they are like, come and talk to us. Like, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to read about? What do you want us to write about?
That's
So there
cool.
might be, that's every week, I think, too, on Fridays. So that might be another.
10:30.
What time?
10:30
Oh, it's not
Friday.
Oh,
my bedtime.
Brian, that's
That's-
you.
You
that's
have to sort of
perfect.
Look for it. You say, oh, are you in the paper? Are you
If
in
it's after 6
over
at
there.
night, forget it.
It's 10:30 to 11:30.
That's great input.
There's
good,
that
yeah.
Thanks,
climate,
Sam.
climate
Yeah.
happy hour thing there that they have periodically,
Yeah.
remember?
That's more regional.
That's
Right.
good.
Yeah, it's good because this is regional.
No, we can't do anything regional.
I mean, you just,
I think we're losing control of the meeting,
Yeah, well,
which is a good thing.
You know, and
we're starting to
we'll
have
do-
too much fun.
regional
Yeah, you don't want to
function.
have any fun.
We'll do what we can, and then every meeting we'll come up with another idea, and we'll do that.
So, but Barb and I will put together some framework, and then we can, like, you guys can, we need to put some meat on the bones. We need to create the skeleton first, right? Because I'm just afraid we're not gonna have any, it was, getting this EAB thing done was a huge accomplishment, and it's excellent. And everybody worked real hard on
We're
it.
not there yet.
No. We're getting there though, Dave. I'm very confident. We got the select board on our side because we did all
I
that.
think we do.
Well, I'm feeling good. And,
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
yeah, right. Okay, anything can happen, right? Right, okay. I'm naive, I know it.
Hopefully I don't go and do a bunch of my own research over the weekend and then
This
turn
is
on you.
all bad.
I'm not worried about that.
I don't think
Allison.
that's gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. I'm not even worried.
No,
about
this
that.
is the type of thing that when you talk about like, oh, committees could be so helpful to the town decision-making, and there are so many educated people in the community that can help. And sometimes that's true, and sometimes it isn't. And this is just like, this is just example of like what can be when you have a really serious group of people looking carefully at something and then helping to make a recommendation. This is how you dream of how things might go with citizen input. So thank you.
And
This
then
is
Dave
great.
just burst our bubble and said it wasn't over yet.
Well,
So, I mean.
she's the
what's up
optimist,
with
I'm the
that?
pessimist.
I'm only kidding.
No, you know what's happened
Oh, I
in the
don't-
past is like, you think everything's just kind of chugging along, and then you get to, then
This is what happens to town staff all the time. You're even told to work on something and
Oh,
they go
yeah.
along doing their job. And then some new select board or town manager and they go to present and they get their head cut off for some reason.
I
But
went
that's
to a
not,
thing and I
this isn't
put this
controversial.
whole thing together, and they're like, how about if you do this? And I come back and I did it, and then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off the bus.
Well, we have the YouTube video of the meeting we presented at, so we can always go back.
No, we want to save the ash trees and we
We're
want
good.
you to
We're-
look
It's
It's
carefully.
good.
and-
I'm not
yeah.
worried about it.
We're trying to do
I'm
something.
not worried about
positive.
this either.
So we're gonna do that.
The alternative is
Okay.
worse.
The alternative is dreadful.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
The last thing is about tree stewardship program, and
well, and you talked about the shoreline zoning a little
well,
bit.
Allison pretty much
Yeah,
did.
with Jeremy, what's going on with that, right? But you went to the meeting. You've been working with Jeremy, right?
Before, I hadn't been.
So this is
since
where you
that.
just like on your way out, you just stop in and talk to talking to Shenley
Shenley.
too is really great. That's another takeaway for me is Shenley has
She's-
a lot. Sometimes people
So-
automatically go to Jeremy, but Shenley has a lot of
Information.
knowledge
Yeah,
and
right.
just checking in with
Good.
them on
Good.
your
point.
way out and saying, how you coming along with this?
Good
I'll be
point.
back
Yeah.
in 2 days for an update.
But the only thing we didn't talk about was our key initiatives for the 2026, including tree stewardship. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is I feel like we dropped the ball as a committee this year on using the tree app and identifying trees and
Yep.
going to the members of the.
Yeah, we kind of
And
regressed a
I
little
just
bit.
don't want that to happen for 2026. I
No,
mean,
I agree.
all of us should know how to use the app.
Mhm.
And all of us should be committed to identifying like at least 10 trees, 10 homes that we talked to. If all of us did that, that's a big
Excuse me.
step in the right direction.
That sounds great.
And it's not that hard.
No,
It's easy.
not.
Mhm.
And it can be done
One
at,
leaves it out.
it can be done at all different times and lots of people are interested. And so it's not a difficult thing.
Did we get the password situation all figured out?
Elton, what about like
So we can get
beginning of
in.
February? Could you do something like that at our first meeting? Like being the first? I won't be here actually, but I know how to use the app, but
There's,
when I shared the password,
no, I'm just talking about teaching like the.
no,
people-
but we got to start with first things first. With the password that I provided, were people successful logging into the app?
when was that you provided the password? Was it
I
recent?
believe the
Was it-
last meeting.
Okay.
I think it was
okay.
last meeting, and
For some reason.
honestly, I haven't tried to log in yet.
Well, let's,
I don't remember what that,
I'll,
because
I can try right now.
I've got the field worker password I can send you. How about that?
there's the password and the ID or
The
whatever.
login and the password.
The login ID and the password.
Are
right?
you, is it the one I sent you?
It's the one Justin sent me.
Yeah, and I understand why you don't want
This
to
is
say
the
it
field
live.
worker
Can
one.
we
This-
not get, like,
No, there's there's the field worker.
I know, Dave, I reset the password. We did
Field
the,
worker or field
you've just
worker?
lost the train of you sent me the link to redo it, and then I sent to everybody what the new password was going to be, including Justin. So I hope,
Oh, maybe this is after that.
There's a
then.
username and a password.
But
We need both.
so there's the full version.
they don't need
It's
to
the one on
know
the-
that you log in with a different account. That, like, let's not
I'm just
overcomplicate it.
making sure we don't use that one because that's the one that can mess everything up.
They've never been,
We're all using
can,
field work.
can we let one I've written things
all I'm
giving, but, because if you haven't read the last emails, we have to have one. Hold on, let me just sign in with the,
So no, mine isn't working anymore.
no, the one that I sent from,
From 12 to 2, from December 2nd.
and you successfully logged in then, and then now it's not working?
Oh yeah, nothing's happening.
I mean, if that password got changed.
So-
Oh wait, let me just try this one again.
Yeah, we got to get this figured out.
It doesn't want to do anything.
You are amazing.
I just logged in successfully.
And you used the field worker one, Camden Main Trees
But
too?
it's good.
Now I'm looking for something.
Camden, Maine _,
Trees too?
Do we want to not say it live? You want to keep it,
I wasn't gonna say the password, but
I'm never gonna use it. Say it in front of me.
please,
we could,
no, are you, the username is
did somebody like,
Camden, Maine _
Was that it?
once you figure it out, email it to all of us?
But this is, see, it just won't let me do
That's
anything.
not
I
the
had
password
the
that I
old one
sent
and it
them.
doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, sure. That was on, oh, that's November 5th, so let's
No,
go.
the November 5th password isn't the right one.
Okay,
Whatever password I sent, I just logged in successfully, so I'll just resend what.
Okay,
yeah, I never got a more updated one after that I know of.
yeah.
We should just make this happen right now. We shouldn't,
Well,
nobody,
It'd be great.
we could
let's
end,
do it.
we can end the meeting and then just,
Let's do it.
Why don't you give the password so we can all do it?
that's exactly what I just said.
Okay. I'm waiting.
That's what you do.
I'm getting it
Okay.
up.
I have one. I just guess it
Lighten
must be
up.
the wrong one. This was on December 22nd.
And you're
I'm
saying
really
that's,
enjoying the show, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to imagine the level of professionalism that occurs in this think tank. It's impressive, you know?
Always-
this is my issue that I get a little,
I'm really happy.
wound up about sometimes.
Because I can't do anything of it. And I'm just
You're
so
glad
happy when other people have
You're
trouble.
glad to hear we're all miserable?
Yes.
That's
What
good.
is, what's the username?
The app, the password's changed a few
Sam?
times. It worked great for a while.
Yeah.
Sam talking?
Sam, I think Allison is sending that out right now.
I think both of them. Okay, great. Thank you.
You don't sound good, Sam.
No, it's not pretty. That's why I'm off camera.
Okay, so Allison's got taken care of that, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking it up
All
right
right.
now, Tim.
So the tree, so we want to talk about, we got a few minutes left. Molly, you and Kathleen were working on that stewardship program, right? Did you get much of a response back from anybody? We were supposed to get back to you guys with names of potential people that might be able to be motivated.
Yeah, I tried to check in with Kathleen a little earlier today to see if what she'd gotten from people. I'm assuming not much
Yeah.
or anything. I'm not in the loop on anything anyway, but she is sort of leading this a little bit more. But
Yeah.
so with that assumption, I whipped up a little Google spreadsheet. I swear I don't work for Google, but I'm going to send that link. It'll just be like the email will be a nice reminder for people to do it, and just click on the link and put in the information. That way it'll all be in one place for us and
Well, that's
easy,
great. Yeah.
organized.
Because I only sent Dave and Justin the new password and not everybody else.
Allison's still working on the password. Huh?
Well, that's great.
Well, I'm
then-
just covered.
Well, that's okay.
Well,
So, yeah, and the goal as I remember, was to try to offer up some names of potential people we thought might be candidates to be stewards and to be.
Yeah,
part
so
of the
I think we're just
triage.
asking for 1 to 2 recommendations of someone you think would want to be part of the tree corps, or alternatively would be a good person for us to get in touch with because they might be a good outreach person for people who might be interested. So like someone who might serve that second role that would still be useful for us to be in contact with is maybe like a teacher who doesn't necessarily want to be on the tree corps, but would know which school club for us to check in with, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's basically 1 to 2 recommendations for whoever you think is going to yield a person or more
Right.
who might want to join the tree corps.
Yeah. Good. So you'll send us a link to like a sheet we can fill in. Excellent.
Yes, I'm going to send that right now.
Awesome.
oh, Dave, you know what? I sent it to your Midcoast Solid Waste. I wonder if you didn't get it because of that.
I don't know. I'm gonna wait until I get it.
All right, the email's coming. I'm just trying to paste in now the user ID.
Okay, we're making good progress here. It's only almost 10 after 2 and we're in pretty good shape. All right, considering it's like right after the holidays and I'm sure everybody's kind of burned out from the
I won't be
holidays.
here for the February meeting. I'll try to be here by Zoom, but I'll be
Okay,
at a campground somewhere in Arizona.
yeah,
That
so
sounds-
between now and then, we really need to get the EAB bid, well, the awardee, we want to get to the select board by the next select board meeting, right, Dave?
Yeah, that'll be 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks, right. So we need to get a letter together for Dave. I mean, probably some of us want to go to that meeting, right?
I would think you'd want to be there
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
giving someone on behalf of the commission.
Yeah, right, good, yep. Do you always go to those meetings, Dave?
If I have anything on the agenda.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
so for that one, I'll probably end
So-
up being there.
Why don't I circle back with you? You and like we did, we can hook up for like half an hour, 15 minutes before the meeting. We'll just make sure we got all our ducks in a row. We'll get the letter together. Does that sound good?
Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan.
Okay,
And then like usually what they'll do is like they'll bring it up and then maybe you and I will stand up.
Yep,
in the last
good.
little while.
that
Dave,
sounds,
you're going to do the reference check, right?
Yes, yep. 3
Yeah.
reference checks, 2 out of 3 is a move forward.
so what, I'll draft the letter. Barb and I can work on that. Are you okay with that, Barb?
Yep.
You said you're not going to be at the next meeting.
I'll be out of town for the next meeting, but I'll try, if I have Wi-Fi, I'll try to go.
You mean you're going to be on the
Um,
road?
We'll be on the road,
Crazy place.
Arizona.
It's not that crazy.
Nitpicky question here. So we said if we have 2 out of 3 good references, we'll move forward. That is unless the bad reference is like a horror show, right? If we get one terrible reference, I think that should give us pause.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, and Dave's still going to make a recommendation.
I was
too,
gonna,
and
I was
so-
gonna call probably multiple people ultimately, you call 10, you're gonna get maybe 3 that answer the phone.
Right.
Hopefully we get more.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if it's a horror show, that's a whole different deal breaker kind of thing, right?
Yeah, if something causes Dave to change his mind, that'll change his recommendation to the
Yeah,
select board too.
Okay,
yeah, and I'll dig into it. I'm not gonna,
so, so you got the ball and you'll just be in touch with us.
yeah, as soon as I get if I hear back from the references, I'll let us know. And
Thank you.
yes, up or down.
Excellent. Good.
Okay, did you succeed in logging in, Barb?
I'm just kidding. This is what's happening with me. I can't even get to the login page. This is
Figure it out. Oh, my God. So, anybody else got any comments, inputs before we don't need to wait till 2:30 to adjourn the
You don't
meeting.
have to.
The only one thing I wanted to say was, I can't believe you guys did that float for the parade. That's
That was
awesome.
just
It was,
awesome.
it was largely Cynthia. Cynthia did.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Cynthia
shoot,
did
I forgot to
90%.
send it to Cynthia. I just didn't send this password to Cynthia. I knew I was missing somebody. Can somebody
Um,
She's
forward that
traveling.
email to?
I'll forward to her.
That must have been, I wasn't at the parade. I was
It's too bad it was dark because it was a pretty good float, but,
yeah.
and, Cynthia did a really great job.
That's what I have.
She was,
And,
it was
And you
amazing.
drove the
And then we
truck,
had-
right?
I drove the truck and, Sam and her daughter and Cynthia and,
Hold your face. Just-
oh, oops. Try again.
I got to see it.
You got to see it.
Yeah, I was sheltering in Zoots because it was so
Um,
cold.
And
yeah.
then Audra's,
There they
Audra's
were.
son and stepson were also part of the little guys. And Evelyn is Sam's daughter.
Yeah,
And,
it's awesome.
So,
Team spirit.
and anyway,
Great.
but the only shame was like, we didn't have probably enough lights, so it was kind of hard to
Yeah,
see.
because it's so dark.
It's so dark and they saw the banners on the side. People are saying, oh, I've heard of this. What's Emerald Ash Borer? I heard about that. What's that all about? So at least it was name recognition.
Yep.
If nothing else. So, anyway, I that's why I'm saying, I think from here, we could do the float again in Memorial Day. But between now and then, we have various articles, so people keep seeing
Yep.
Emerald Ash Borer. What's next? Do you have ash trees? What do we need to know? Just
Memorial Day is after the rise of the sap.
I know, but still a parade.
But that's all right,
Yeah.
just.
But in the interim, we have like there's articles in the paper. I mean, and that we can also share on social media or what else? I don't know.
I think
Anyone
for
has any
the,
ideas?
for the
I mean,
awareness.
Until May, you don't have a lot of public events where people are standing around talking about trees, but
Mud season.
it's mud season.
Mud season.
Allison, I'm in.
Nice, yes.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you for that proof of concept, at least.
if nobody else has got anything to,
Good.
I'm going to make a motion. We adjourn the meeting. We can
Sounds good.
stay here and continue to
Thank you.
joke around and everything and have fun.
Works for me.
But otherwise, and Sam can go back to her
Get some sleep,
incubator or wherever
drink
she's
some
hanging
tea.
out.
Sleep,
All right.
sleep.
We hope
I'll
you
see you
get better,
guys.
Sam. Thank you. You're a good sport for signing in.
I'm happy to do it.
Greatly appreciate it.
Guys later.
All right, bye, Rebecca. I guess you already signed
Oh, I
up.
forgot to send it to Rebecca too. Oh my God.
See you, Molly.
Watch this jacket.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.